Alright, so this week I've really been like trying to focus on the things that, the reason why I ended my relationship with my wife. And it's helping somewhat. Still crying, all of that, but you know, it's a process. And I figured there's this different thing that I've seen on TikTok and heard before. Like I tried to embrace my daughter, who actually is the one who separated us. Like she's doing this thing called shadow work. She did some work on it, and like I always encourage my kids to do different things to do healing and to look within themselves to better themselves. Anyway, so I come up on the shadow work questions on TikTok, so I figured I'll do a video while I'm doing this.
Okay, you guys, so I said I would do a video on how to get started with shadow work. And remember, everybody's path is different. This is just my opinion. Y'all know my routine. So shadow work is different for everybody. So in starting shadow work, these are the main questions that I found that would help my journey. So if you guys want to, you can use these. Start with your childhood, because that's the beginning. So get yourself a journal, get yourself a scrap piece of paper or a notebook. And if writing ain't for you, because it's not for everyone, get out your cell phone and press the voice recorder app. And then ask yourself, how was your childhood? Now remember, not everybody has childhood trauma, so just answer the question as authentically as you can, and then go a little deeper. What are 3 things you liked about your childhood, and what are 3 things you didn't?
So how was my childhood? I actually made a post about this on Facebook yesterday, where I talked about like I didn't really have a mom. My mom was there, but she did not talk to me. She did not parent me or look out for me. Like I raised myself. I learned how to cook by myself and eat by myself and clean by myself. Real parental person that I actually had was my stepfather, who was a Marine that she married, and like he added some structure to my life, which I was very grateful later on in life, and even at that time. But my childhood was very lonely. I guess that's a big reason why I am an introvert. But anyway, so what are 3 things I liked about my childhood? 3 things I liked about my childhood is that I was able to explore the reservation, just like go anywhere, everywhere, anytime, at night, like even if it was dangerous or not. Like I remember one time okay, focus on 3 things. Focus on what you liked. Alright, so I was able to explore. Another thing was that I had dogs with me all the time, and like they're so playful and loving, and like I felt that having the dogs is what like helped me grow and helped me feel loved, because I didn't feel loved by my mom. You know, I didn't feel loved by my family. And the 3rd thing is that I learned how to defend myself physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, I think. So those are the 3 things: being able to explore, dogs, and protecting myself. And what's 3 things you didn't like? Well, 3 things I didn't like was the violence. It could be it's a spectrum of alcoholism and actually physical violence and other type of violences that happen to children on the reservation. Me specifically. So the violence of growing up that way, being emotionally neglected and physically neglected and all of that, it was a struggle. So I did not like that. Another thing was that I had to defend myself all the time. Like when violence happened because of somebody else and it came back on the family, it would fall on me. Like it was so crazy. Like regardless of how young I was, like I would be the boy that had to protect myself. My sister never experienced it, who was younger. My brother was a big cause of it most of my life. But then it wouldn't happen to my mom. It was just like always came at me. And I'm not trying to sound like, you know, it's always me. No, but that was factual. Another thing I didn't like about my childhood, just in general, like I felt like I had nobody. Like I would have Like at a young age, I claimed kids that I hung out with as just associates. Like, yeah, they're not really my friends. Like, I hang out with them sometimes, but like to have a friend, not really. I had one friend, his name was Bon. It was Dalton Walker, my cousin. And so I hung out with him a lot just because I felt safe with him, and we would like hang out, and his mom was nice, and yeah. So the three things that I didn't like was the spectrum of violence, having to protect myself because I'd be the one attacked when issues came up, and that I didn't have nobody to really embrace me or love me or care for me.
Then the next question I would ask myself is, what are your triggers? Because everybody has something that gets under their skin. And after you answer the main question, go a little deeper. Why do they trigger you? Because there's always a reason for everything.
Okay, so what are my triggers? Trigger that I have is with people who are intoxicated, or and it doesn't really matter if it's alcohol or marijuana. It's just like they reach a point and it just like rubs me the wrong way or makes me feel like uncomfortable and disturbed in a way. And really, I think the alcoholism comes with being and not having control of my childhood. Like, so I was so out of control, and I wish I had control, because like I had to take care of my sister, and I had to cook for her, and I had to, all of that type of stuff, and like I just felt so helpless. And it annoys me, and then plus it's a self-reflection of myself for me going through those stages myself in my life, and even falling back into it right now. There's a struggle, there's a trigger. Like I see that, and people when they try and communicate with me, and I'm just like, I put up my walls. I'm like, no, don't be around me, don't talk to me. Like I'm just trying to chill. Then another big trigger is when people try to take advantage of the power that they have and try to like act like they own me or control me. I remember going to Native organizations and they're trying to tell me like, all right, so things that you create and things that you do, we own that. And I'm like, I don't know, I'm gonna have to defer from that. So we're gonna have to talk about that later on, but like, I get it if it falls in line with what you guys are doing, but if I create something on my own, like that's mine. Like, no, you're not gonna take ownership for what I create. And then like people who try to use their authority in like say you can't do this or that, or just like try and those are triggers off the head. Reason why I feel like I think it's just like feeling powerless from my childhood. I think that's where it all comes from, the powerlessness. Yeah, I just looked ahead at this last question.
And then lastly, dig deep. What do you hate about yourself? And where did you hear that from? Because nobody is naturally born hating themselves. That's a learned behavior.
Yeah. What do you hate about yourself? Being an introvert and an overthinker, like, I've thought about that type of stuff extensively, but not necessarily focused on hate towards myself. But to think about it, what do I hate about myself? Starting now, going backwards, I hate that I didn't prepare myself enough to be a good enough father, to make sure my kids, to make sure I knew how to handle my kids' traumas, to be a better husband. Like, 'cause I know, like, my reasons why I ended this relationship, but I could have done better. I should have done better. And I know that she fucking didn't really do much work. Like, I was just talking to my son, and, like, he was telling me how much he doesn't like how she's treating me in this separation. But not about him, but, like, where her thing was almost the 12 steps AA. And once she reached the 4th or 5th step, she stopped working on herself. And I was trying to encourage her to keep on working, get through it. It's the tough part, but it gets better. Like, because I did my own personal work, and when I was going through self-empowerment and all of that type of stuff, and to where I found love for myself again. But she stopped working on herself, so it was like, and then she wasn't able to really engage and develop deep relationships with our boys and my boys. And, like, I'm so pissed. Like, I'm pissed because all of my boys have been abandoned by their moms. And that's on me too. I hate myself for that. And I know it's not really my fault because, like, my mom was not a mom to me. So I don't know how to pick a mom for my kids. And they all pretty much neglected their relationships. My oldest son's mom, nowhere to be found. The 2 next boys, their moms barely even engaged throughout their lives, and now that they moved in her area, she still doesn't. And they all hurt through this separation. And I'm just trying to brace on to my youngest son, and, like, hopefully he doesn't have to go through that as well, but he's feeling like it. I hate that I couldn't make these better choices. Being an empath, like, got that confused, like, feeling like I could help and care for her and love her like she's never been loved before. My whole life, I hated that. I felt like I've never been good enough for anything. Not good enough for my mom, not good enough for my dad. Not good enough for my siblings. My siblings, this is like, I was always looking for love. I was an elementary student listening to Boys to Men, all these love songs, ABC, BBD, all of them freaking talking about love because I wanted to know. And I always really tried to push, like, all right, this is how love is. This is what love looks like. I always watched rom-coms. I always watched love stories. Love. I felt life was about finding love. And I know, like, finding love within yourself. And I found that those were my best years. But, like, why aren't you good enough for love? Why aren't you good enough? I hate that I never been good enough. Like, why was I put on this earth to be made to feel less than? And I strive to make my kids not ever feel like I felt. I strive to show them I love them extremely. And there's just so much more hate. Like, it's rooted in that, never feeling good enough. So then it's like, because, like, my facial features, is it because, like, how introverted I am? Is it because my body shape, even when I was thin, like, I always try to look for love in every relationship that I was in, and I always got, like, hurt. mistreated. I always had boundaries, and that's why, like, I ended every relationship that I was in. It's like, this ain't it. Like, it hurts too much. It's hard to love yourself when you hate so many things about yourself, because, like you said, like you've been shown this your whole life. Holy crap, this is a tough one. Shadow work, huh? Alright, thank you for watching. Thank you for clicking on the video. Thank you for liking. Thank you for commenting and whatever. Appreciate y'all. Cmanvlogga. Still trying to heal. Still trying to progress. I'm out of here in 3, 2, 1. Peace out. My ages.